Hey everybody, good morning. Good morning, good morning. And my chat's not working. Awesome. I love that. See if I can pop it back up. There we go. Now it's working. Hey Infinity, Jaquise, David, Lucero. See, now I'm missing the other one. There we go. Got all my windows. All right. Donald, Merle, Merzio, Kimberly. Yeah, scary cheeseburger. Not really scary. He's kind of, I don't know. It's a fun cheeseburger. That was the thumbnail for today. We're going to talk about McDonald's earnings coming out this morning. Nikki, Kevin, Don, Dex, Don, Valerie, Larry, Eric, Rungemer. Good morning. Craig, Gary, David, Pat, Terrence, Dan, Suckbeer, Andreas. If you'd like to chat with me like all these fine folks that are saying, hey, good morning, link is right here. Right over here. The little green overlay lets you subscribe to the channel. That's the only requirement. Then the live stream becomes active for you. And you can chat with me just like all these fine folks while I'm live. If you're tuning in after we're no longer live, then you're going to have to leave a comment down below. Or you can come check it out in Discord and let me know what's going on today. That link, that does cost you money though. Hanging out with me in Discord, because that's 24/7. Link is in the description. You can pay like $5 and get in there. So that's for people that support me deeper, more, I guess, monetarily. People that support me monetarily, not just show up. Hey, Leah, Ali. I don't know. I can butcher a name. Give me half a chance. I can butcher just about any name. So, alrighty. What do we got cooking? We got the FOMC meeting coming up this week. Well, it starts tomorrow, wraps up on Wednesday. Jerome Powell has been unable to resist, I guess you would say, doing a speech after an FOMC announcement ever since he became Fed president. Used to be every other one would be a speech, and the other one would just kind of be like a one-day meeting, and they wouldn't do a speech. Ever since Jerome Powell took over, he's got to do a speech every time. I mean, God, you gotta love the limelight, right? Hey, whatever. I do a speech every morning. Anyway, let's see what we got. Crack-a-lack in here, and I'm gonna have to load this up and pop it over and share the screen this way. There we go. All right. All trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. This presentation intended to be informational, educational, fun, entertaining. It is not a recommendation to buy or sell anything, financial instrument or otherwise. If you desire that personal financial advice, you need to hire and consult a financial advisor that has a fiduciary duty to give you advice based on your financial situation. And remember, just because I got something right in the past doesn't mean I'll get it right in the future. We're still hunting a bottom in the S&P. Let's be honest about it. All right. And check out the calendar here. I like forexfactory.com for the calendar. It's pretty, as far as a worldwide calendar of information. I mean, this thing's pretty good. Got lots of stuff in here. And we see coming up on Wednesday, we've got that FOMC meeting right there. Fed funds rate, FOMC statement, FOMC press conference. That's kind of the big event of the week. Everything else is just kind of like, we'll see what happens. And we do have job openings, ISM, PMI on Wednesday also. Today was kind of benign, just mostly earnings. And when I say earnings, check out this list. This week, we are stacked, plumb, dang, full of earnings. Look at this thing. It's from Earning Whispers. I think they make a great graphic. I mean, I don't think I could do any better. So I use their graphic. You can't see behind me. There you go. There's the ones in the bottom corner. You wonder where they get this. I grabbed it off of X. And while you're over on X, you can follow me if you want to follow them. So I'm just at Jeffrey Turnmeyer. Anyway, had SoFi, McDonald's, OnSemi, Western Digital, HSBC, Jinko, Solar, Expo Logistics, Air Canada, Checkpoint. I mean, this afternoon we got Arista, Pinterest, Transocean. I mean, you can read the screen. I mean, it's a ton. You know, last week we probably crossed 50% of the market cap for the S&P. This week we're going to have over 50% of the actual companies will have reported earnings from the S&P 500 by the end of the week. And it's a pretty stacked week. I mean, look at the top lines up here. You know, Caterpillar, AMD, First Solar, Norwegian Cruise Lines, PayPal, Roku, Qualcomm, Lilly, Apple, big one coming in here, Block, you know, Square, Block, whatever you want. I mean, PLTR, Shopify, Lilly. I mean, we have some big hitters in here this week. And we had some big hitters last week. So this will be a big driver in the market. And of course, on Wednesday, 2 p.m., we've got the Fed announcement. So that comes in right in the middle of the whole thing. Craziness. That's what that kind of sums it up this week. We're just going to have volatile craziness. And we haven't found a bottom yet, so at some point this week, we're likely to see a big rally. That's what I'm expecting. It's kind of what I'm thinking, but time's going to tell here. Even Coinbase coming on there on Thursday after the close. Just saw that. I mean, there's a lot. There is a lot. Now, my S&P 500 chart, my simplified chart, check this out. We're right down to the top of, and that orange line I threw in there. I don't remember when I drew it, but look at this. If we pull that thing right back over here, look at that. We've gone nowhere. Nowhere. From April 21, May 21, May 22, 2.5 years, we've gone nowhere. You feel like the market's choppy? Yeah, it's kind of choppy. This has been a key support and resistance zone. So we broke up through there. We came back, tested as support, launched up, came back in this vicinity, broke through, came back, retested the vicinity, dropped down, popped up, a little bitty consolidation right there, popped up, came back, a little bit of resistance right, or a little bit of support right there, broke through, came back up, tested again, dropped down, came up in the vicinity again, dropped down, back in the vicinity again, dropped down, back in the vicinity again, and popped up, and we're back down to the vicinity again. So this is like a big flip zone in the, you know, I mean, it's a big wide fat zone, because you can see we've poked through both directions several times. I mean, now, where do we go from here? If we can start turning up, what we're going to watch for, this will be a key thing to watch for. Let's clean this all up, make it fairly simple here. In fact, let's just remove all these things. You know, we do have this key resistance to clear up here. We didn't do that. Didn't break through. This is actually arcing down a little bit now. Kind of more flat. 2-point tool from the high down to the low. Right in that zone. Look, 618, right in the zone. That's still the place we have to break above. Still, right there. That, getting above that 44, let's see. Let's call it 4450. Getting above 4450 tilts the odds. We're going on up here, 47, possibly even up here, 4800. Maybe even be able to get the next extensions even higher. Now, what am I watching for? There's still several layers of support. We get below 4100, the immediate upside looking a little rougher. All right, that's right where the 50% is. We could easily come on down to 3960. That's where the 618 of this entire move up is. And if this thing's actually an overlapping diagonally thing that took us up into this high, we could see a 786 retrace of this move before getting continuation higher, which would be, funny enough, right down where we bottomed here, and we'd go revisit that again, right around that 3800. So if we get a 786, now, if we get below that 786, down here, 3800, odds are we're going 33, if not 29. And that, funny enough, look right there. I had a target back there for a long time. So it wouldn't really surprise me if we broke down. I mean, it kind of bummed me out, but it's not going to surprise me. This is started out really bullish, really nice, and right now, with the depth that we have pulled down, calls into question whether we can get continuation on higher or not. And this looks like a 5-wave-ish thing that could be a C wave of this corrective move down, but it also could be a diagonal. If we get a deep retrace, hold that 786 level at 4,500, and then turn down again sharply, we may be going down to these targets down here. Now, everything's looking overextended to the downside. And I'm real serious about this right now because this is a very treacherous spot that the market has put itself into. If we're going bullish, it has a very thin set of parameters that it has to match. We have to get 5 waves up. We have to get a retrace, and we have to break out above that previous in another 5-wave move. So we have to do some impulsive stuff to the upside. At this point, it's a bunch of corrective gobbledygook on the way down, and it starts to make me question all this move that we've done since October last year. So be careful, all right? Nothing is clear right now. You may find some other person on YouTube or otherwise, maybe Jim Cramer, that's like, here's the crystal clear path. We don't have a crystal clear setup for a crash. If we rally back up here and hold here and start turning down, then we have a crash. We have a crash setup, all right? I'm talking about like we could go like this in a few days, maybe even a month, if we turn down at that level. It could also be right up here. All right, so we'll have a zone right up there that's like very, very treacherous. Now, odds are once we get above 4,500, we're probably going up, but we could still turn down at that, right at that 4,500. So there's the odds right there. I mean, that's nothing's clear right now, and I urge you to be careful. We are likely to rally back up into this 43 to 4,500 area, somewhere in there. Highly likely to rally back up in there. If we find resistance and turn down with any kind of gusto, any kind of, excitement to the downside, watch out. We could get a several 100-point drop. Take us right back to the lows that we saw back here in October a year ago. I was hopeful this wouldn't set up on the chart, but right now it is set up as a possibility, a potential. Please, 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 please be careful. All right. Big crashes are fast money making opportunities, but it's a fast money losing opportunity also. All right. Please be careful. And this thing is present on the chart. We could see a drop into the end of the year. I mean, this next rally could take us through the end of the year, and then we start out next year doing that. So market's open, getting a little bounce so far. McDonald's getting a nice little pop, but still below the consolidation, below the roadmap line, still bearish, and probably still on the path down to this area down here. We may come up, bounce off the roadmap line. I think long term, we're probably on a bigger correction for McDonald's. S5FI, we got back down to 10. Things are epically bearish right now. We're probably due a sizable bounce in the market just because people are crazy bearish. We didn't bounce there. We made a lower low. I mean, lower low than right there. Still higher low than back here. So watch for a big bounce. At some point, wherever we finish this up, we're going to go back up out of the top. At some point, it's going to come back up out of the top. ES overnight, not really clear. Didn't have anything particularly clear. This could be a rally off the lows, but stuck on that 15-minute roadmap line. Just not sure. Yeah, morning, Sinborn. Morning, Patrick. Morning, 50 Nifty. Morning, Alan, Jan, Michael. Morning, everybody. Everett, even see you over there. Good morning, good morning. NASDAQ. This didn't make a lower low on Friday, interestingly enough. I think this is interesting here. That's messy, though. That move up right there, messy, 3-wave-ish, but then we didn't make a lower low. Now we're not making a higher high. If we break above and make a higher high, it'd be interesting. If we break out, so this is a kind of an interesting point for me. If we start moving up through there, it muddies up what the path is, but because this isn't clear, this make this a 3-wave up. I don't know. It looks kind of overlappy, big deep. Could top out right around this 14,477 area, right there, 14,472, 77. Could top out right there and turn down again as a big 3-wave up. But if we can do something more bullish, get up to like a 14,637, we could start moving on higher. All right. That's NASDAQ, NQ, Big Tech. That's QQQ. If you're unfamiliar, you just divide by 41. ES is S&P 500. If you didn't know, these are the futures. I like to look at the futures because they gave me overnight data. They started trading at 6 p.m. yesterday, Eastern time. If you didn't know futures open at 6 p.m. on Sundays, guess what? They do. And Russell also looking like this one, actually looking one of the most bullish right now, up off of that low from Friday. This one might be the clean one compared to our other indexes. You know, this one's been the mucky one for months and months and months. Starting to look more clear. Now, typically, reversals in the market, big major reversals in the market are led by small caps. So I've got my eye on this one for any indication that we may be about to turn here. There was a big gap up today. This is IWM, small caps, if you're unfamiliar. There was a big gap up. We could see a retrace, and that I'm definitely going to keep my eye on it. And for my OBA traders, that might be a trade in there. CO, continuing to churn in this area. Probably going to get the dip back to the roadmap line right down here. Would not surprise me one bit to see that. Dip right in there. GC, continuing to try real hard to break out. Got rejected on Friday. Opening up above the resistance today, but then getting a red doji so far. If we can get a close up here, odds are we're at least going to 2150, if not 2240. And it may do the thing where we bounce up, bounce down, bounce back, bounce up here, right there. And then we see a bigger correction before we can go higher again. That was a perfect retrace. This would be a beautiful extension. And then we'll see what we get. So there's the path on gold. If we get the move right up above this box, this zone, if we can actually break out of that zone that I've had on there since back in like April, probably going up here to 2150. It's like a 70% chance we're going to 2150. Bitcoin. Beautiful chart. Looks like we're doing the consolidation before we do the pop up to 36. Then we may do another correction back down, test this stuff again before we can do the next extension up. 38, 45 above that. Looks pretty bullish, my friends. All right. Ethereum, still not caught up. Has lots of opportunity to catch up and outperform here. 23 is the target if we can, but you know, the resistance is actually right here where, you know, it's just like gold. You got to get above that resistance right there. It's all the way up there. It's got a ways to go. Like I said, still lagging Bitcoin. So that one can still turn down and be super bearish at that point. If it can't get through there, it can turn down and make a lower low than we saw right back here just a short bit ago in October. Just a couple weeks ago, October 11th, we were at the lowest low. Now we're up here, not making a higher high yet. So Bitcoin, whole different story. This thing made its bottom back here in September and is getting quite bullish. So be careful out there. Dollar, hey, still consolidating in this zone. We may see this drop down. The longer we go without breaking out higher and consolidating at the top, the higher the chances are we come down here and retest this. And if we break down below that, we may finally get that move down into the mid 90s that I've been looking for all year, pretty much. So that may be all she wrote. She maybe could only get to the 50% at 107. I was thinking we may see the 618 up there and then turn down bigger, but looks like we may just hold the 50 and turn down. Same pattern all the time. Same fib levels, 50%, 618, 786. They're all same fib level, same levels, same all. I mean, just different charts. Beijing, biotech, biopharma, medtech. Be careful. That looks like a gnarly sideways chart. MSTR, and popping a little bit on Bitcoin, and that was my chart of the week. Last week, or I think it was last week, still expecting this upper target 530. It's like 70% likely at this point that we go right up here, 530, 520, 530, right in that zone. Right in the zone, auto zone. Lily, still churning. We have earnings later this week. Wouldn't surprise me to get a retrace back to the roadmap line. Really wouldn't surprise me one bit. That is one heck of an extension off of the lows back here in February, March. Crazy move up. Wouldn't surprise me one bit to get a retrace back to the roadmap line. Western Digital announcing earnings this morning, and that's a funky looking chart. Looks like they lost a bunch of money on billions of dollars of revenue. I mean, ouch. They made a big spike down Thursday, popping up above the roadmap line, but can they get continuation? That's the big question here. We do have resistance at those highs, and run the pattern high to low. We're stuck at the 618. If we can get a close up here that's green, above 44 or so, looks like we're probably coming on up to 50 to retest that zone. If not, break out to 54, which would be the long-term downtrend kind of situation that we've had going for years and years. And looks like my line's like all stupid, so be careful on Western Digital. XPO Logistics. I don't know if they stood to benefit from yellow going out of business. I don't think they're less than a truckload. But, I mean, beating on the top, beating on the bottom, positive earnings. Missed coming back to the roadmap line. I kind of expect a bigger retrace at some point here. But, I mean, that could have been all the retrace it needs to go up to 84, 88 on the upside. SMCI, so close to getting to the roadmap line. If you want the roadmap line, link is in the description. It's just this orange line. It's a set of EMAs. I've got videos on YouTube you can go watch after this that tell you what it is, how it works, even gives you the code but if you want a one-click button to put it on your chart, you're gonna have to subscribe. Link is in the description. So right there, it's been the bottom, but I think we're gonna reach down to the bottom of the zone all the way into the roadmap line. Call me crazy, and you could roughly say it's a head and shoulders. So just like NVIDIA, watch out here. If you're unfamiliar with NVIDIA, that thing set one up right there. Very sloppy. We could see it break down, or we could see it reject and pop up to a new high. Very interesting. Very interesting, very interesting. So, A-I-R-E. Well, you say trucking's on a downslide, but look, I mean, that's not what their earnings or their chart is saying. So, FedEx may be in a hurt. UPS may be in a hurt. Those aren't trucking companies. Those are package delivery services. You can say they're trucking too, but it's different. XPO on a whole different thing here. That one, I don't know. That's not enough chart to do anything with. Probably going lower would be my guess. If that was an IPO or whatever that is, it's probably going lower. Yeah, nothing in there. SRC right up to the roadmap line. That holds as resistance. Watch out below. Goose. Be careful, my man. NVO. Same situation as Lily. Probably needs a deeper retrace at some point. Although this one has gotten a lot closer to the roadmap line than Lily has in the not so distant past. MIRO. Nice pop. Under $3. Stuff under $10 doesn't always follow the patterns. Plus, this is biotech. Be careful. Why do you? Well, holding the 618. If we hold here, this could be very positive, actually. Could be a measured bounce, but we got to break above the roadmap line first. If it's a measured bounce, even if it's bearish, it could play out to 220. If it's bullish, it could play out to 270. So this could be a pretty good play. I mean, that's double your money just on shares if we start breaking higher. I mean, you could buy it now, knife catch, not a great idea. I'd stop out down below 92. So you could risk like, I don't know, $16 to potentially double your money. I mean, not a horrible idea. I would definitely do it with shares, not with options, because let's look at this. Right here, this correction took roughly 268 days. So like 3/4, like 9 months, roughly. That means this could take 3 times longer. So we could be looking at 2 years before we get up here. Be careful. That's a funky retrace there. If it is a measured bounce, usually it goes with some gusto, with some excitement, but it doesn't have to. It can just drift up here. I mean, 2 years to double your money, that's not a bad deal, right? PPLT, physical platinum shares, ETF. Platinum's been pretty gnarly. Yeah, that's platinum. That is a gnarly chart. Man, that's a downtrend. I mean, it's a downtrend for a while. That's bearish. Where was PPLT? Definitely be careful on that one. That's just not something I want to mess with right now. That chart is sloppy and nasty and gnarly. There's plenty of other opportunities out there. Another biopharma. Be careful on that. Biotech, pharma stuff. I mean, it's kind of gambling. Chinko Solar announcing earnings. Beating on the top, beating on the bottom. Billions of dollars of solar panels. And could it be the bottom? It could. Might it go lower? It might. SD Lauder. Jeez, man. Look at that. Right to the target. Holy moly. I don't think I could have drawn that better. I don't even know when I drew that, but dang. Sometimes I surprise myself. I have to say. That was scary. It gives me like this weird tingly feeling when I pop up a chart like that and it is right in the target. Like, holy crap. let's be honest here. That's pretty wild. Now, could that be the bottom? Maybe. I don't know. It was right in the target. That's pretty wild. It did that, and dang. Sometimes this stuff surprises me. Okay, anybody that thinks this stuff doesn't work, or right there you go. Like, go back months ago, figure out when I drew that. I mean, what the heck? Wow. Anyway, how's that for being humble, right? Surprise myself. This one right here, just consolidating. Still, we need to break out. Look, we rejected that resistance and pulled right back down to the lows. If we can get out of this box, you know, it already was a box. If we can get out of this box to the upside, we're going higher. With the excitements in crypto right now, it kind of surprises me that this thing's just languishing. It's obviously lagging. And just like Mara lagging, just like Riot lagging. I mean, these aren't crypto exchanges like Coin is, but check out Hood. Hood has as much Bitcoin as MSTR, if not more. That makes no sense. Like MSTR, look what it's doing, right? Hood with more Bitcoin than MSTR. What the heck? Just have to wonder. Now, somebody could buy this out and buy their Bitcoin. Looks like it was a breakout, retest of the downtrend line. We pop back above the roadmap line, back above 10. That one's probably going up. So, Vito. I mean, that one's actually going with Bitcoin. Like, Bitcoin's, it's actually trying to outperform like Bitcoin. Got upside targets at 19, 20, 22, 25. I mean, climbing the fib ladder. So this one's pretty much the ETF we have for Bitcoin. I mean, just going down a rabbit hole of crypto here. So Bitcoin 36 and 43. Right up there. PDD. Doesn't look too bad. Looks like it may climb up to 118. That'd be the next fib line up. EDU. That one looks like it's going to come back to the roadmap line. It was just in June when we were there. That's probably all she wrote on the extensions. Yep. 2618. That was a lofty extension. Probably due for a correction. Probably due for a correction. SVXY. Watch for this one to bounce off the roadmap line. This is highly, highly, highly likely in the next couple months to come right back up near the highs. If not, make new highs. It wasn't a customer acquisition. It was a Hood itself bought the Bitcoin. It was in their last earnings report. Go read it. RVTY. That med specialty, biotech stuff, med tech. Be careful. ON. Beating on the top, beating on the bottom, getting slammed. Probably weren't the rosiest on their earnings. Right down to the 1618. Might extend down 65, 61. There you go. VMware. Wow. That's the wrong VMW. See if we get the better chart. Did they actually do the acquisition today? NXPI. Semiconductors getting beat down, man. Whew. Right to the 1272. That can be a bottom. Of course, they can extend down to 160. Oh. That's a fallen knife. Watch out for the realty. CRE and a hurt. Got support at 45. Potentially. Could just bust on through and drop on down. All right. I brought a list of earnings. We can pop through a few of these this week. See what I think. Apple. Looks like we might reverse here. That was one heck of a retrace. Of course, I mean, we did one heck of a move up. It was March since we touched the roadmap line. Came back. We've definitely retested it pretty thoroughly. We've almost retested this consolidation zone. Just a little bit lower. 164 maybe. But we could be done on Apple. AMD. Unfortunately, that one's getting down in that 96 area. Below 96, looks like we're going down to the 75 to 80 area. I drew that line on there several weeks ago. We got back below the trend line. Be careful. If we don't get back above the roadmap line in the next couple sessions, earnings may be down. We saw SoFi, PLTR, probably retracing the roadmap at least, if not getting the extension down here to 1250. PayPal. That one's probably going down to this 42 area. Shopify broke down right into the target zone on the breakdown. I was kind of afraid we might see that when it rejected that right there. This can be a bottom if we turn back above. I'm actually going to put an alert in here at this point. If we get back above the roadmap line, certainly, but I'm going to put an alert right here at 52. Get back above that. Things can look more positive. More confirmation above that 56, 57 area right there. I did make a bunch of money on this, like 15,000% back here on that pop in May. Been out just waiting for the opportunity, maybe setting up again. Lilly, yeah, we already covered that one. NVO, McDonald's, Roku. It's pretty rough. Down below the targets. That one may be going for a lower low. Be careful. QCOM, not a bullish chart. That looks like it's going to break down. ANET, I could be wrong. I mean, I've been wrong before. ANET, probably be wrong again. 205, if it can break back above the 618 there at 187. Yeah, Square, oof, golly, right in the target. Next target down, 27. Yeah, SMCI we touched on. DraftKings, right down the roadmap line. If we can hold it and turn up, it's good. If we don't, maybe in for 24, maybe even 22 on the downside. Pfizer, looks like we're going down on Pfizer. NCLH, that's just a choppy corrective thing. I would be careful. We're getting below that uptrend of the lows. That can result in a lower low. Solar Edge. We might come down to the next level. We talked about on CAT. Getting a pretty deep retrace here after hitting the target. As I said sometime in the past, I wasn't sure what we would do after we hit the target. Looks like we're getting a deeper retrace at this point. And deeper retrace, maybe. Let's clear this up. Maybe down here. Around that 208 area. Airbnb, broke down. Not Not good. At the 50%, 618 maybe the next level of support. 106 mRNA. Oh man, coming down in a blaze of glory. 62 below that, 44 below that. Crocs. There's a lot of earnings this week. I'm just running through the earnings and it's kind of wild e-wagging it here. Educated wild guess on what might happen here. Crocs looks like it wants to extend down to 78 before we might find support. ETSY looks like it's going down. CVNA got below the support. 618's at 25. We get below 25. Probably coming back to lows. MELI. That one might pop. 150. 1,540 on the upside. Pins. Sideways. FTNT. Looks like it wants to come down to 53. CVS. Just move the fib lines. Awesome. Looks like it's going to extend down to 60. Actually, we could run another fib. Yeah, 61 maybe. Or 62, I guess. Be conservative on the upside. ALB keeps flushing. Apparently, mining lithium's not super awesome for Albemarle. Cessbucks reporting earnings tomorrow, I guess. Looks like it's going down to 86. Coin we already hit on. JetBlue. Probably going down to 3. That's going to be Barrick, not Geo. That's going to be Barrick Mining. That looks not bullish despite gold going up. FSLR, yeah, looks like it's bearish. Rig. Doesn't look overly positive on rig. PXD is a buyout, and at this point, what the heck? Buyout price is all the way up there around 270, whatever. This is unusual. I guess somebody thinking the deal's not going to go through. Not going to let ExxonMobil buy out. Yeah, look at that. NQ making my target. Caesars. That looks pretty bearish. 35. Paycom. That is the lowest low. Look, I mean, golly, man. How low can she go? Has support at 233 and then 194. CCJ probably coming back to the roadmap line would be my guess. We could go an extension from there, but probably coming back here. AGNC probably going back to the bottom. ELF stuck on the roadmap line. That looks like it could pop on earnings. It could get a further extension down, but it hasn't really retraced to a level where I would expect that. It may just pop. Humana. Sideways. Gnarly. Not really anything clear there. PVG. That looks like it's going down in the garbage. ET. Back to the roadmap line, more than likely. Not sure what all this... Sometimes my drawings go rogue. I'm not even sure. ETN. Now, that one, again, like ELF, may very well pop, and 253 would be the target. Amgen. Back to the roadmap line, 250. Western Digital, we already touched on. PIN. Going down in blaze of glory. Wow. Man, what a range. Look at that. I'd say we're coming back to the bottom. I mean, would not surprise me to drop pretty major. Would not surprise me one bit. Net, not usually a bearish dude, but I mean, that pin looks pretty horrible. Cloudflare, probably coming back to the lows would be my expectation. We've been down there once, twice, 3, 4 times, and that was in a bullish pattern. Move up off the lows, may get a flush to a lower low here. You know, it could be 35. Not entirely sure where it might actually go to because it's not a clear pattern for higher or lower. I mean, down here 35, possibly 27. May just make a nominal lower low that just pokes below this stuff down here. All right, bias for the day. You know, we don't usually go through all those earnings, but we don't usually have 9 gazillion earnings. So bias for the day, kind of positive actually. I'm thinking we could start working on this pop in the market. Really kind of thinking, you know, watch out for a big up. Like I said, on NQ, we start getting above that level. And yeah, that 44. We gotta be up here 14,600 really, to start getting this thing bullish. But we could see a giant up. Could be a giant, like, we're talking S&P up 150, 200 points in a couple days. Yeah, we could do that in one day, actually. So this thing is so beat down. Like, everything got so bearish. I mean, really. Calling for crashes. Watch out for the big up day. Resistance right up here, roadmap line. And then all the levels we talked about before, you know, at the beginning, right up here. Watch for that resistance. If we turn down again, watch out. It could be a big fast. Definitely want to ease up on your load if we start stopping right in this zone. May want to liquidate lots of longs. May. I mean, you know, it's not advice. I'm just saying. I'm probably going to consider doing that. So, all right. That's it for today. I'll be back again tomorrow. Oh, I've got a beta thing coming out this afternoon, 3 p.m. I don't have a link for it. I'll try to throw a link in Discord. I was going to throw up the sales page, but it's not active yet. We're going to do a beta on, I mean, it's crypto income. How do you do income on crypto? Well, I figured out a way. I got 9 wins in a row, 0 losses, no rollovers, no nothing. It's similar to my Greenlight income alerts, but it's different. Had no rolls, no nothing so far, just 9 wins in a row. If you're interested, if that's something you're interested in, come check me out this afternoon, and we'll see you. Otherwise, yeah, that won't be on YouTube. That'll be on Zoom, and I'll throw the link in Discord. So if it's something you're interested in, come check me out. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow morning. Bye for now.